Hi, so I have something planned today which is kind of rare, but basically, what I'm going to do, I actually did this a while ago, but my audio got interrupted, so I couldn't upload it if I'm not wrong. But yeah, so here I have a few websites open, and all of them are about making conversation, dating tips, and stuff like that. So I have three websites open. I won't be linking any websites, but I'll say the title of the website, the website name, and the title of the article. So the first one is 22 tips to make a small talk if you don't know what to say. This is on socialself.com/blog/make hyphen small hyphen talk. And the second is 250 conversation starters, which is a lot, and the website's name is conversationstartersworld.com. Then the third one is 57 killer conversation starters, so you can start a conversation with anyone anytime, and the name of the website is scienceofpeople.com/conversation starters topics. Then there is wikihow.com, which has how to ask someone out in person or over text, and there is how to ask someone out 8 tips from dating experts, and this is by mindbodygreen.com. And the last is how to ask someone out 8 steps for a yes every time, which, okay, this is a bit clickbaity, but whatever. And it's again by scienceofpeople.com. Yeah, so these are there are two articles by scienceofpeople.com. Anyway, so I'll start reading. So I won't be reading the entire website, but I'll be reading like the big points. And so the first big point that there is why small talk is necessary. And I'm not into reading this because I am looking for these for my own reasons. So I'll just skip this and go directly to finding things to talk about. So they have 7 conversation openers to begin with. Ask a simple question. Do you know where the closest Starbucks is? Okay, I can see this being interesting because you would ask them a question and then this could lead up to follow-up questions, like if they want to talk to you. So what I'm looking for in a conversation starter is asking them a question or something like that they can easily answer, and if they want to they can just stop the conversation right there, but also if they want to they have the freedom to like continue talking easily. So for example, this is a good one, I think, because if I for example ask you, do you know where the closest Starbucks is? I mean, we don't have Starbucks that commonly in India as far as I remember, but I could ask them any similar question like where the closest cafe is, and they could say, oh, it's right there. And if they don't want to talk anymore, they can just leave, and if they want to talk they can ask me, oh, why do you want to know, by the way, are you going to that cafe or something like that, right? So I think this is a good one. Talk about a shared experience. That meeting or seminar went into overtime. This is interesting. The only problem I have is I'm kind of looking to talk about things outside work. So I'm trying to look into things that are not work related. But I'm seeing that this could be interesting for example, I go to Comic-Con or something. There this could be a relevant thing where whoever I'm talking to probably hasn't been with me for too long. So I could say, oh, that dance session, or that why did I say dance session? I meant to say that dance performance went well, or that cosplay of that particular person was so good, or something like this. And that's a shared experience, so I can see that being a very interesting one. Oh yeah, one thing I remembered suddenly is in the Comic-Con we had last year, there were like people giving free hugs, and it was so good because at least I don't get hugs that often. I don't know what it is, but I maybe, okay, so guy friends generally hug each other, but I feel that's a bit different because those are also very aggressive hugs, usually like chest bumps almost. And even when it is hugs, it's okay, alright, whatever. I feel like I'm disrespecting my guy friends. I like them, but to get a hug from a girl was very nice. So there were like a couple of girls giving out free hugs in the Comic Con, which was very nice. And this is my first time seeing someone giving out free hugs. I've seen them in like photos and whatnot, but to see it in person and get hugs was very nice. But yeah, anyways, continuing to the website, talk about why they are there, why you are there. So you can ask them, who do you know here? Okay, again, this could be interesting in a party, I suppose. Actually, this is one of the best one in a party, to come to think of it. But then again, this feels like a... Yeah, so for example, if I'm in a bar, I can't really ask this question, right? Who do you know here? Because people might just be there. I can ask, who are you with someone or are you alone? Sounds a bit creepy, but maybe a better version of it. What would be a better version of that? I am not really sure, but yeah, let's see. So at the school is weird. What do they mean at school? Because I'm not saying this is written here, so it's written like this: talk about why you are there, then bracket, at the party, at school, the social context, bracket close. I guess this could be like you are to pick up some, but then it means you're hitting on moms or something. Okay, whatever. Okay, I guess that works. Not really sure where I could use it, but I can keep that in mind. Talk where you are and what's happening. I love the decor in this cafe. It makes me want to hang out in those overstuffed chairs for hours. Okay, this kind of is the same as the shared experience, but a bit different. It's more like they are trying to put more focus on context. Instead of having a shared experience in a more rigid sense, you are talking about something that's happening right now. So I can see this being an interesting one. We'll have to think about this. Give a sincere compliment. Those shoes are awesome. Where did you get them? So this is my go-to actually. I usually do look at the shoes before complimenting them. So if I see someone wearing, if I see someone cute and I see them wearing a good pair of shoes, or if I see their hairstyle is different from others, or they have colored their hair, or they have glasses that look nice, I'll compliment them on that. I have done that a few times. Very nerve-wracking, but is it very nerve-wracking or wrecking? I say it racking a lot actually. Nerve-wracking. Okay, so it's not a W. Oh, so there is a thing, nerve-wracking, which means causing stress and anxiety. So it's a bit nerve-wracking, but it's also fun. But yeah. So yeah, I see this. I use this a lot. So asks for their opinion. How is the wine of red wine here? Sorry, how is the house red wine here? I don't know how I read that wrong. But okay, so one thing I have noticed, I have tried doing this, and one thing I've noticed is sometimes it will just not work. I guess it's mostly them not wanting to talk. It could be that, where I'll ask them a question and they'll just say, oh, I don't know, and just move away. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe this is a good one. It just never worked because the person was not interested. But I see this is a good one. Asking for their opinion, because it does give them a chance to talk and they can choose how much they want to talk about something again. Last is talk about possible common interests. So this is sports, movies, books, social media. Do you think the insert NFL team will get into the playoffs this season? So this could be interesting. The only thing is that I am not interested in a lot of things, and I usually do ask people if they play video games, try to make conversation from there. If they don't, I don't really have any ground to talk about. But yeah. Anyways, let's see the second point. So the second big point I have is listen 2/3 of the time, talk 1/3 of the time. So I do this. In general, I do try to talk less and let them speak more. So let's see, they have an example. So you say, how long does it take you to commute to work? Then about an hour, I take the train and then walk up from the station. I live in the suburbs too. My commute is 45 minutes or 75 depending on train delays. Those delays are killer, right? It took me an hour and a half both ways most of last week. You say, yeah, it's brutal. I drive, but that would be just as long plus parking. I think, aren't they just talking the same amount? Anyways, there's a recommendation, I'll just read it. If you want to improve your social skill, self-confidence and ability to bond, take our 1 minute quiz. Okay, I got debated. Is that what they call it nowadays? Okay, I'm not taking the quiz right now, but I'm also not sure how taking a quiz makes your social self-confidence go up, but okay, whatever. So the third is ask open-ended questions. Here's an example. What were you up to this weekend? Or was your weekend good? Oh, it's saying asking the first question can lead to the second question. Was your weekend good? Okay. Yeah. Let's see the third one, which is BQ. Now they have, by the way, given up on putting specific examples. Now it's just large points. So ask open-ended questions, be curious. So that makes sense if you're interested in the other person. This is something I find lacking in dating apps. I was thinking about it the other day. If you're in a dating app and you match with someone, I'm assuming that you're interested in them a little bit. So why not talk to them? Why not let them do all the talking, right? Wouldn't, like, for example, if I am matching with you, I would love to talk to you. Like, I would want to make as much conversation as I could in whatever time I have talking to you. How is that not I don't get it. But anyways, be curious, ask for their opinion. So this is just them repeating a point. Find common ground, again repeating a point. Agreement on an issue, the same interest or hobby, knowing the same person, enjoying a similar background. Knowing the same person, okay, bit rarer in some situations. Enjoying a similar background, I think could work. Depends on what do you mean by background, but I can see this working. Agreement on an issue or disagreement. I think disagreement can also be very fun. Like when you are talking about some, for example, what flavor do you like? Oh, I like strawberry. Oh, I like vanilla strawberry. I hate strawberry. And this could lead to an interesting argument. Obviously, this is a very, I'm not asking to argue over actually important things. I think flavors is something you can argue over without any problem. But yeah. The same interest, hobby, careers, movies, goals. So this is also interesting, but as I said before, I am looking for something that is not work related. Although you could have non-work related goals. It does say hobby, movies, so could be interesting. Let's see. I mean, this is also kind of repeating the same points. Approach the common interest from a unique angle. What does this mean? Okay, I'll read this one. Say you both love cars and new innovation. You could say, what do you think is the what do you think is the future of cars? Okay, I'm not doing this. I mean, this could be funny, I guess. I'm not sure if I would do this like naturally. Like, I don't think I'm the type of person to say things like this. I'm usually a very reserved person when it comes to talking to strangers. But yeah. Anyways, next is share your opinion and be respectful of others. So this is just a general tip. But yeah. Move on from the current subject by zooming in or out. Does this mean just going out of the room or something? Okay. It's a bit weird. I don't really get it, but I'll just move on. They are trying to get me to do one of these quizzes badly. One of them is, what type of social overthinker are you? I don't really do these quizzes. No, I don't mind if anyone does it. I think they are fun. I have done them a few times. They're fun to do. I just have done them a few times, and I think it can get very addicting. So I'm staying away from them. But yeah. If you share with me one, I'll definitely do it. Like, I don't mind doing things when people ask me to do it for fun. But yeah, the 10th one is use what if scenarios to get people thinking and talking. So what if mobile phones were forbidden? I don't like these. Like these, I feel like it's a bit shallow. Like, you know, if I ask you, I mean, maybe if I ask you, but we know each other to some degree. Not like we know each other. So the thing in Pillow Talk Audio or any, for example, if you're on YouTube, then on YouTube, the thing is that you are here for a very specific reason, and I am also here for a very specific reason. The reasons might not be same, but we are here for very specific and not very normal reasons. So I'm not calling anyone abnormal or anything, but I'm just saying that we are not doing things that everyone would do and everyone would even think of doing. So conversation between us is very different than conversation between me and a random person who I don't know, right? So, and at that point, I don't think saying, so if I tell them, what if we were given 3 wishes, what would they be? First of all, isn't this very obvious? Like it's a question that's asked, that has been asked to everyone all the time. And second, I feel again it would be a bit shallow, like not much, even if they do answer this. Like I just don't find this interesting personally. If you ask me, I'll probably not think of this too much either. Okay, this is one interesting one. What if animals could talk? Which one would be the rudest? But still, I think there is some something that just doesn't sit right with me. Again, if someone else asks me these questions, I'll try to answer them. Like if I'm interested in them, I'll try my best to answer them, make conversation with them. I just don't see myself asking these questions. Okay, prep a few safe subjects, bro. This is why I am here. You should be telling me this. Okay, so they have a paragraph, so I'm just pulling out the points from the paragraph. I feel like these should have been points, but whatever. So the first is a little, did you see Porch Pirate video on YouTube? Okay. I went to the basketball game last night. We went sledding on this hill near Saturday. Oh, is this like... Okay, I'm not sure if this is what they're saying. Okay, so I'll just read what they say. It could be things you have done recently or highlights of current events. The latest memes or videos. Okay, whatever. So the takeaway for me at least is like having stories that you can tell. So I have a few stories that I just forget. Like I don't remember them very well. But I think I should make a list of stories that have happened to me so I can easily tell them to someone. But I think this is my takeaway from at least this point. Then second is, 12th is make it rewarding to talk to you by showing that you listen. Isn't it the same as the other one? So there are a few points. Listen with intent and sincere interest. Use verbal acknowledgement to show that you are listening while they talk. Use non-verbal acknowledgement that you listen. Ask follow-up questions to keep people talking. Ask about what you have been told. Paraphrase what people said to show you heard them and understand. But I didn't mean to say but I was saying I do these things, so I guess this was not for me. But if it helped you, then good. Happy that helped you. I think I'm good at continuing a conversation, at least to some degree. I'm just bad at starting them. Not even starting them, bad at approaching people and figuring out how to make conversation properly. But yeah, mention something you are about to do to end a conversation naturally. Oh yeah, so this is a good one. I use this on phone sometimes. So I haven't used this ever actually, but this is something that to keep in mind even for you. So if you know that a call is about to come to you, or if you get a call and you know that I don't want to talk to this person, or you know that you would want to cut the call immediately at some point, you can just start the call by saying that my phone is very low on charge. Is this something important? And they can continue saying whatever they want to, and you can just cut the call immediately, like whenever you want to. I have not used it. This actually happened to me once. So whenever something like this happens to me, I just make a mental note to use it later as a trick. But I haven't used it ever because I've never needed to. But yeah. So this is a good one. So here are some examples. I have to go find a seat, or say hi to X, or get ready to do XYZ. It was nice talking to you, but I have to do the above thing. So they just say see above in brackets. Great to see you. I'm gonna do something, but we'll catch up again later. All of these was just normal, but whatever. My point would have been mostly like, when you start a conversation, you can be like, oh, I have to go there after 15 minutes or something, oh, do you know I had this work yesterday which I haven't still finished. So it just sets it up for later when you do decide to go, right? Because you can say, oh yeah, I have to do that work, and if they were listening, they would be like, oh, that work, yeah, you mentioned. So yeah, anyways, part 2 is becoming better at talking to anyone. So this was part 1 apparently. I'm not sure how the website is like laid out. Or is this just a different talk completely? So I am not going to read this because this looks like more practice on look for connection and social experience. See friendship as a result of several positive shared experiences. Don't look for approval. Things like this. This is just a general tips for people. I think it's fine if I don't read these. I'm confident enough, I guess. But yeah. So I'll skip this one. While reading the previous article, I actually opened a link on the same website. So this was on socialself.com. So this is another article which says 222 questions to get to know someone, casual to personal. So casual questions to get to know someone. What's your favorite time of the year? Okay, I can see this being interesting. Do you ever binge on TV shows? I think everyone does nowadays. I don't, but I think most people do. Do you work out? What do you like to eat? These are so many. Just a second. I had a call from a friend. But yeah, anyways. So I think these are too many, and I will read them eventually, but maybe this could be a series or something. But for now, I wanna go to WikiHow and see the article. How to ask someone out in person or over text. So, okay. So they have things you should know first. Plan an activity ahead of time that aligns with your potential date's interests. Okay, that's interesting. Makes sense. Strike up a conversation and make a small talk by asking them how they are and what they have been up lately. Okay, I can see this setting up, like how setting up the question, would you be down for date or something like this. Be as specific as possible and mention a date and time while asking them out. I see this making sense. Like if they are not specific enough, if you are not specific enough, it could be like you just tell them, ask them when are you free, and they just keep asking, oh, I am free, when are you free? So I think being specific is a good thing sometimes. So their first point is first method is asking out someone you already know. It says first point is strike up a conversation, send a friendly text instead of asking them out right away. First ask them what they're doing tomorrow, this coming weekend, and so on. Try to look your best when you ask somebody out. Okay, makes sense. Ask them if they would like to go on a date. Okay. Want to go out for a coffee on Saturday? My treat. I wanted to see if you are free on Friday evening for dinner. I'm heading to a party after work. Want to join me? Hey, I know you love ice cream. Why don't we check out that new ice cream shop tomorrow? Let them know that there are no hard feelings if they say no. Say something like, no worries if you don't want to, or if you're busy this weekend or you can't make it, I understand, just let me know if you want to get together sometime. Makes sense, yeah. I like these. My only thing is, okay, I'll come back to that. But let's just see. Okay, so the method 2 is about asking out someone you have just met. So it says make eye contact and smile at the person. Okay, bit creepy, but alright. Okay, I'm just joking. But okay, there's a quiz, like one of those small questions, multiple choice questions that come up in WikiHow. So I'll try answering that. Which part of asking out a person you have just met do you think is the most important to get right? So their options are making eye contact and smiling at the person, approaching the person and introducing myself, striking up a casual conversation, and being diplomatic if they say no. So obviously all of these are important. Is this a quiz? Is this the answer? Because I'm going to say, so obviously I just want to be clear that being diplomatic if they say no is very important. In a general sense, like you have to be diplomatic, there's no denying that. But I think if you're trying to make for your purposes, I think the most important thing should be what? Casual conversation, I'll go with. Okay, so this is like a poll thing. So most people actually have voted on making eye contact and smiling at the person, and least people have voted on approaching the person and introducing myself. Okay, reading back at their point about making eye contact and smiling at the person, they say you don't have to stare them down. So they say if the person looks away or doesn't smile back, they might not be interested. However, it might also mean that they are too shy to reciprocate, so don't give up quite it. So I agree. This is kind of like a very like thin ice, right? Like you have to be very careful not to come off as too assertive. Like let them have the space and also try and approach them properly. Okay, so let's say the next is approach the person and introduce yourself if you haven't already. Say something like, hi, I'm Michael, what's your name? Or hi, my name is Janet, how is it going? Yeah, so I can see this working in like a environment where you are co-workers or something, but how will this work in a complete stranger situation? I'll have to see that thing. The one thing that I was actually hoping to find out is how do you find out if the other person is interested or available, I guess. Because I mean technically, yeah, asking them out will give you that knowledge, but it would have been nicer to have that knowledge beforehand. But okay, I guess you can't have everything. So yeah, asking someone out you have just met. Point 3 is strike up a casual conversation. Ask the person what time it is, where they are from, what they are reading, compliment what the person is wearing, talk about the music that is playing or anything else that is going around you. So this is just for casual conversation. Let them have a word. Okay, so next is ask the person out. Okay, is this not too direct? Okay, so it says once the conversation has started, let the person know that you think they are interesting and would like to get to know them. Suggest meeting for coffee, lunch, dinner, etc. These are all very basic dates that are low commitment in case you don't hit it off. Okay, yeah, makes sense. I wouldn't be sure if coffee is something that is considered low commitment, at least here. I really have not heard anyone go on a coffee date with someone, but okay. So these are some lines to say, I guess. I think you're super cool, want to get a drink sometime. Also, by the way, if you're wondering, one of the reasons I'm reading all this is to be better at this, but also because I'm writing scripts on these things, so I wanted to see what the dating community has to say. But yeah, I'm heading out, but I'd love to get to know you more. Maybe we could get lunch tomorrow. So this is a good one because this definitely gives them the option to ask your number or just let you go. They can just say, oh yeah, sure, and then just not contact you, which is fine. I think that works perfectly fine. Avoid asking them out to a movie on the first date. I agree. Oh, they say they give a different reason that it will not give you a chance to get to know one another, but also because it's a very high commitment date. Like it's what 1.5 hours at least. In India, movies are 3 hours long by default. But yeah, I guess not 3 hours, but like 2.5 hours. Try to get the person you're asking out alone. Otherwise, the other person can be pressured to give a certain answer, especially around their friends. I can see this being a thing, but okay, this is something to think about. Obviously, there are some cultural differences. I'm not sure if here is it would be safer. I guess it would make them feel safer if I ask them out alone. But I guess trial and error. When asking out a stranger, make sure they feel safe and comfortable at all times. If someone feels pressured or scared to say no, then their answer won't be genuine. Makes sense. Okay, tell us what you think. Again, one of these quizzes. I'll go with this. Which first date would you would you most want to go on? Getting coffee or drinks at a bar, walking around a farmer's market, having a picnic at the park, going rock climbing, doing an escape room. So firstly, I personally like rock climbing, but I can see that not being the most comfortable date for everyone. If the other person is down for it, like if the other person suggests it or whatever, I am 100% going because I love rock climbing. But I can see that being a bit awkward to suggest on a first date. Maybe as a joke I can suggest and then see what the response is and then suggest a actual date. I would definitely say the first two are my favorite. Getting a coffee or drinks at a bar and walking around a farmer's market. Because both of these are low commitment, like you can get up and leave at any time. Picnic at the park, it feels like it requires too much preparation beforehand. Like you are preparing for the picnic, you're dressing up nicely, then you go there and then you can't suddenly leave. It would be too awkward, right? If you get to just casual coffee or drinks at a bar, it's almost like walking into the other person, but you already know each other and then you can just suddenly leave. Walking around a farmer's market, I've never done this, but this definitely sounds fun. I don't think are there any places in India? I guess there are. It could be interesting. The only thing is that usually our parents are the ones who are doing most of the buying, grocery shopping in the farmer's market. But I can see this being interesting. So I'll go with the walking around a farmer's market. That sounds the most fun. But then again, it's a very crowded place. Would that be comfortable? Interesting. I'll just go with the walking around a farmer's market as a suggestion because I do think that would be most fun. Okay, so that's actually one of the least ones after rock climbing. The most is obviously getting coffee or drinks at a bar. The second is having picnic at the park, which is very interesting. I didn't expect that. I hope my voice is clear. I'm seeing the little lines, the sound gram or whatever, and yeah, it's all over the place. I hope it's not too quiet. I'll boost up the audio anyway, so it should be fine. But yeah, be diplomatic if they say no. Obviously, that makes sense. Well, it was worth a try. Nice to meet you anyways. I have done this before, not the first time. Let's go. I don't actually get rejected that often because I don't ask people out that often. I usually just let them know that I think they look pretty or whatever and then just leave. But yeah, realistically speaking, I'm not even sure where I'm going to use these because I am for 6 months in this city and after that I'm going back home, and in my home city there's none of this, none of asking anyone out. That doesn't happen, so I'm not sure if that will happen, but we'll see. Yeah, making a game plan. Okay, interesting. Determine whether this person is already in a relationship. Okay, let's go. This is what I wanted. This will save you a great deal of embarrassment and unnecessary effort. So first of all, I'll say if I was brave enough, I would just ask a person out, and if they say, "Oh, I already have a boyfriend" or whatever, I would be fine with that. I wouldn't be embarrassed or anything. It's just natural. You didn't know, you asked. I think that's fine. Has happened to me. I think when I play video games or something, sometimes there will be a girl and I ask them out and they'll be like, "Oh, I have a boyfriend," and I'm like, "Oh, that was worth a shot though." But yeah, I don't mind that. But let's see. So try asking mutual friends or checking their social media accounts to see if they have a partner. So social media accounts thing is a bit difficult here, at least because people usually try to hide their relationships from their parents a lot. So they'll have a private account in which they'll have their I was about to say spouse, but I meant partners, the photos with the partners, whatever. So it can be a bit difficult to find that out. Mutual friends make sense, but then again, asking their mutual friends means that their mutual friends will know that you are finding this information out, which is not too hard to figure out what you are going to do with that. Oh yeah, don't ask somebody out if they are in a relationship. Not only is it essentially guaranteed that they'll say no, but it's pretty unfair to the person's partner and reflects poorly on your moral character. Well, I guess there goes all my plans. Obviously, I understand this completely. I was just reading this out too. I mean, I like that these are, even though these seem very obvious to me, I like that they are here for people who might need this information. Okay. Oh, this is very interesting. Which approach is the most likely to help you determine whether the person you want to ask out is already in a relationship? Checking their social media, asking my friends, asking a question that assumes they have a girlfriend or boyfriend, asking them directly. Asking them directly, the problem is that it's kind of obvious, and you like, what situation are you going to ask someone, oh, do you have a boyfriend or girlfriend? Naturally, you don't really, right? Or the only reason is that if you're asking them out, like if you're planning to ask them out, asking a question that assumes they have a girlfriend or a boyfriend is a very interesting one. But what questions is my question? I would like that option the most. Asking my friends is interesting. Depends on the friends. It's like if I am close friends with them and they are mutual friends with them, that makes sense because I can share with them that, oh, I was planning to ask this person out. But at the same time, also I just turned off a switch that was on. But at the same time, if they are closer friends with them, they'll tell them that I was going to ask them out. They'll tell that they think that I was going to ask them out, which is probably correct. So yeah, that's not very good, is it? I think I'll go with the assumption question. Most people actually go with asking them directly, but how will you ask them? I don't get it. Okay, I guess I'll look at that up later. Also, this is getting quite long and I have to meet my friend after this. So I'll end this in this Wikipedia article, but I'll keep these tabs saved somewhere so we can continue together. Be confident but prepared for rejection. Makes sense, makes sense. Is there something interesting? Being prepared for rejection will help you avoid appearing physically defeated in front of other person if the answer is no. What do they mean by physically defeated? Like I'll be in my knees crying or something like that. While you want to prepare yourself for the possibility of rejection, don't let it get in the way of your confidence. Yeah, I think that's something that at least I have seen, that if you're already ready for rejection, right, you're not really afraid of that. Like I'm not, when I'm asking someone out, or when I'm at least this is again my personal experience, but when I'm asking someone out or when I'm complimenting someone on there or something, I'm not afraid of rejection. I'm afraid that they'll just yell at me or something like that, especially because for whatever reason it seems like I'm keen on asking people out who look like they run a evil business. But yeah, I'm not really afraid of rejection that often, especially because I have gotten used to it, I would say. Not rejection particularly, but getting dry responses, which makes sense. That's basically rejection, but instead of a verbal one, it's instead of a direct one, it's an indirect rejection. But yeah, find out what they like possibly. Again, this is under the topic of making a game plan. So before I'm assuming before asking them out, this is the way you figure out. So you try to figure out what they like. Determine how you want to ask the person out. If you are too shy to do the asking in person, then consider sending a text, Facebook message or email. I really hope someone is not asking anyone out on emails, because oh my god, I miss so many of them. Like I get a lot of emails every day. I try to read every single one of them. But if I miss an email asking me out, I would be so sad. But yeah, that's actually it. So this was interesting. I think I learned a bit. Again, I'm mostly looking for topics and stuff. Oh yeah, there's some tips at the end. Know how to take a hint. Some people are too nice to flat out say no to you and will instead say that they are busy and can't make the date. Yeah, so I am aware of this. I think I can take a hint, I would say. Ask a wingman to help you out if you are feeling super nervous. I wonder what a wingman does. But yeah, I can see that being a thing. I'll have to see what a wingman does to figure out, because I would have to tell my friends what to do. I am not sure if any of them know how to wingman, because we don't really do that often here. If this person says no, it might be because they are not ready to date or aren't allowed to date. I guess that implies that they're in a relationship or something. Don't come to the conclusion that they are not interested in you. I don't like the way they read the last line, but I get what they're saying. It's to not reduce your self-confidence or something. But yeah. Okay, this was interesting. Okay. There is one article that I want to read, which is deal with rejection from a guy you asked out. Responding in the moment, accept his decision, acknowledging your feelings, recover the friendship. Okay, interesting. Make an exit. Be honest and sincere. Recovering your self-esteem. Ask yourself what you are hoping to receive. Recognizing that each situation and person is unique. Then there's a girl with two guys staring at her in the background, in the image. Making a list of things you love about yourself. Okay, that's interesting. Avoid blaming yourself. I do agree with this. At least I haven't seen many guys rejecting girls. I think even if they do, it's nothing to do with the girl. People just reject random people, honestly. I can see myself rejecting a few people for no good reason. Like for reasons that are very weird and don't make too much sense. But that's very rare, and I think even if that happens, I mean, as a guy I can say that if I do reject someone, it's almost never because I don't like that person or because that person is less or something like that. It's always something to do with your own wants or whatever, and I think no one should change that. Like, you shouldn't try and become something someone else wants, right? Because someone will love you for what you are, and ultimately that will be the best relationship for you. Obviously, not to say that not improve yourself or anything like that, but definitely don't try and fit into someone else's dream scenario. But yeah, avoid blaming yourself. Take some pain relieving medication. Okay, let's read this actually. It may sound silly, but social rejection activates the same pathways in the brain as physical pain. Oh, I actually remember this. Now this makes sense. Because when you get rejected, the same parts of your brain get activated, which gets activated during physical pain, which is funny in itself. Okay, part 3 is focusing on other goals. So work on your education. Okay, pursue your own goals. I have definitely done the pursue your own goals thing. Spend time with friends and family. I do agree with this as well. If you have good friends and families, it's always very fun to, very pain relieving, I would say, to do that. Deal with emotional side effects. Then the image looks like it's of a therapy or at least of a doctor or something. Practicing letting go. Practicing letting go. The drawing is very interesting, I'll just say. But yeah, okay, so it's very interesting. But yeah, anyway, so I think this is it for today, for me at least. We have a lot to do, we have a lot to go through, but I will be writing a script, I think, soon. As I said, I have to meet my friends, so this audio won't be out immediately after I finish it, but sometime later. But yeah, hope you are doing well. Hope if you are planning to ask someone out, they say yes and you have a long and healthy relationship. And if they say no, it's always good to have practice and don't beat yourself up over it. Is that the correct saying? But yeah, anyways, Hope you're doing good, and see you soon. Have a great day.